matter. I'm going to roll back. It is what it is, right? Today's gonna be totally fucking scuffed, but hey, you know, can't help it, right? Every day has its own thing, right? We'll figure it out. That's all that matters. The stupid thing moved on the screen. Now it's got like a droid cam thing there.
How are we playing today?
Figure this out backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
It is upside down. Hold on. Figure it out. Oh yeah. There we go. Egg salad. Cake! Oh, you want cake? Yeah, we got pizza! Pizza and wings! Whoa! That was a kick, buddy! That was a kick! Don't. What? Yeah, let's do that! Present! Okay, sounds good. You want to eat the rest of them? Huh? Pop-Tart?
Yeah, you can give that to Uncle. But let's wait for
We gotta wait for Rob's to get everyone here so everyone can experience it together. Yay, let's go! I can't believe it's so gross out there. When did BC arrive? I didn't order it.
That's what I mean, like.
Ridiculous. Whoa! That's a power kick! Like every once in a while, you know, it's not bad. It's like the sound of the rain. Yeah. Like, go. Whoa! Don't kick yourself in the face! Don't! You're crazy! You're crazy! Yeah. Headbutt! Oh, thank you so much! I appreciate it! He's just
hilarious.
He loves to do that!
30 bucks. It's like, oh my.
Hey, that's what it's all about, right? Hold on, I think I gotta check. I'm not sure if this is like looking properly. Hey, what's up? I don't know. Are we ready, guys? Ready to get together for this? Are you ready to give me my present, buddy?
I don't know what it was.
This is from Mom and Dad. Right?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. Open it! Ah, what's in here? Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Oh, big one. Gotta get that card. Card. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Happy birthday! Thank you! What's inside? Oh, we gotta get the card first. To Scott. Happy birthday to a guy who's a rare breed of wonderful. Love it. Have a wonderful 35th birthday. Love all of us. Wow, what's this? What's this? I don't know. I gotta take it upstairs though. Bury them in a certain way. Alright, what's this? What's in here? Alright, let's see. Oh, cool. Wow. Wow, that is a card. That is a card. Look at that. Happy birthday, Uncle Scott. Love, Quinn, and Zoe. Aw, so adorable. I love it. You glued all those on yourself? Oh. in here. Let's see what's in here. Dump it out. Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Okay, show me. Show me how it works. Let's do this. Oh, this is like an epic Beyblade. Yeah, I think you gotta put it in first. But I think it's gotta go the other way. I mean, I think it's gotta go the other way. See how there's the notches? I think you have to go in the like the other
inside. Remember?
Yeah, and that way they'll hit edge, right?
The teeth go pointed.
Take that out.
And then we can turn it. I mean, you can turn it to.
Oh, that's so smart. Bro! Go! That's crazy! This is the hardest thing to do because everything here is backwards. So let's try and move the camera.
Is it different from here?
Yeah, so I can see like the Oh, look at Zoe! It's because I can see the chat, everything up there. I don't know if the chat's working. No one said anything yet. But the 3 people in here. Let's go. Are you super? Zoe? You got are you like me? You got special glasses on, right? Can you get my phone? Really? Oh hell yeah, we got more of us. Let's go. Are you playing with my phone? We'll put my phone, put one phone to the other phone. Wow! Crazy, it's a double phone. Yeah, let's put this in a special place. This is so lovely. I love this. Cool. The food will be here in a little bit, right? And we can have some snackage. Rack up the snackage, right?
It's supposed to say squad. It did say Tom.
I love that. That is so good. That's. Yeah, that's a cute bag. Okay, so let's take a sticker. Wow! So go crazy. Oh, I got Why is this bending like this? So weird.
The more she lets you pressure and I'll let it, and then I can squash it.
I always move her out of their face because she's got the most beautiful face I ever saw. And I love her so much. You're so beautiful, Zoe. Alright, I'll be right back. Here we go. The stuff is real, but it's okay. That's what it's all about, right? It doesn't matter. It is what it is. It is what it is for all to be why we see what it is. What it is. Start my floor for a second here. Token. Gotta get a token. That's not gonna allow these guys up here. Dude, I wonder if it's in the background. Somehow, like stick that at the top. I'm gonna figure out a way to do that. That's so good. Just have that in the background. Whoa! Okay. Well, I'm just assuming that the sound is like completely fucking stuff, but I purposely didn't do the HT side of the camera to make sure that it would hopefully take the sound better. That was the hope in the way that it is. That all things shall be, but we know it never works, so it is what it is. But at least, hey, we're trying to have fun. That's what matters. That's what matters. 3, 2, 1, toe! Here, back at. Woo! Like surprisingly, what up? Face off. Eating food. Oh, even get the food. Okay. Up and away. Is that like? I have no idea. I can't see anything. That's good.
Yeah,
True. Well, you saved me. Oh, really? Yeah, no, it was a really good thing. It was like a 12-hour stream, right? We were just like hanging out, and it was like we had like a 4.5-hour conversation, and then the best thing ever happened. So one of my viewers, Relic, he's like, I'd say he's like, oh, we might not have any Lucky Charms. We might have eaten them all. They might all be gone. That sucks. Yeah.
Did you
Really? I don't know. Well, good for her.
Solid unit.
You know, one of the ones you're not quite sure about, if you know what I mean.
crazy?
Well,
Crazy, and she married our friend Jake.
that's yeah. Oh, where'd you find them? Oh, they were over there.
I put into
Yeah.
right, and I'm doing the whole wall up there.
Yeah.
So these are the last ones we put in the window.
Oh, cool.
And then those are just two pictures.
Hell yeah.
These are better.
So weird to do this.
Hey. So I got the one
Oh, that's so cool. It sticks out like that.
yeah, and then I put butterfly, and then I just finished doing that.
Curtain.
I might put this in the center of my
Office.
that's gonna remove the thermostats for upstairs.
Oh, the whole. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, get them all out, right? That's what it's all about.
And there's
Oh.
two others that I already have that I'm gonna do different colors because I have so many beads left.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's one thing that you assume the first one was blue and green would be like a lot more used colors, and you think like
Yeah.
yellow and red, right? Just for like flowers and birds. Yeah.
I think blue runners that I have, I'll be able to do it down the canvas, and then I'll be able to stick it
Thank you, Lord. This is so well. It's not like the perfect coordination.
So, like, one is that could be a nice for today, and then are you guys gonna come on Wednesday to Canada Day? Where's that?
It's okay.
It's just
It's okay.
Because that's the thing that's going on in the park, right?
It's the percentage of rain.
Oh, look at that! Thank you so much. You're so nice. Are you a flower girl? Yeah. Flower girl. I don't even know where this goes. Well, yeah, that was the plan. It's at the park, right? Yeah. Yeah, he's throwing everywhere.
Just below Statler, just on Calgary. Every time I watch it, it's like Statler has some.
This thing in the middle.
Yeah. And I looked at the other picture to see if this one is accurate. Yeah.
I was driving to Red Deer yesterday, right? It was dropping rain, and then you get into Red Deer, like you're halfway there, it's like a wall, and then there's sunshine. Like, what the hell? And then see on the way back, it's like the cool thing about Alberta is you see the clouds cloud pockets, and I'm looking at like I can see
Yeah,
it raining.
in Lower Mainland, it's a blanket. It's all either heavy rain, medium rain. Yeah, it doesn't have a puffy.
Wow, she's got the bike though.
Whoa, there.
It usually comes and floats around and goes, and you be driving and
Dude, it was crazy. I had to close my windows. It was like I had the drapes open. Hitting the roof, hits the window, bounces directly into my room. It's like the floor underneath my thing. It's completely soaked. Close these. It's just yeah, I need. Oh, that makes. Yeah. And sometimes I think about the wondering about the design of some things. It's like if I just, yeah, I was showing everyone this. Cool. Yeah.
And then that one I got from England from my grandparents.
Hell yeah. So great.
And I finally got that one done. Jimmy and I tried.
The circular ones are so interesting, especially if like trying to find the outer just beep 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 beep. Look at the echo. Where? Oh. Yeah. No, where? Where is it? It's over here. Okay, we gotta hunt it down. We gotta eliminate all the mosquitoes. We'll search for it. We'll find it. We'll find that bloodsucker before he gets me. Yeah, it's like a little needle that he sticks and goes. He slurps it all up. Yeah, I think it's gonna be gone. Oh, that's not good. Well, as long as it's gone, that's what matters, right? As long as it's gone.
A lot of money for that shit.
True.
Because we had, well, we don't. We had.
If you went on top of the insert.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
It's one of the new ones I
So
got last
you guys are both matching. Me and Jenny are matching. And the kids are both matching.
I'm just sitting here in my streamer. Well, technically, I'm wearing a uniform. So the hat is for the silliness. The shirt is for like the dark, like grim, right? I had the earphones that I use for like voice critical Charlie, right? See, it's like of all the streamers, he's the only one who uses like the earbud type streamers, the earbud type headphones, and then the pants reminiscent of Mr. Ballin because Mr. Ballin always has the red plaid shirts, and I'm like, I want to be the Mr. Ballin of fiction, right? So like literally my entire outfit is uniform.
I just go to bed.
That's the whole point too behind it. Is like maybe when the food shows up, because that's why I'm drinking milk, because like I'm freaking starving. I need something to fill my stomach. The last thing I want to do is a little bit of milk and some beer.
The guy who played,
I had a burger at like 2 in the morning. That was about it.
anyways, Mr. something Opus. What was that movie called?
I don't know.
It's a very famous movie. Anyways, it's the only movie I know is Opus. Like Opus. I like to throw it out there. It sounds like Mr.
Well, it's like,
So-and-so's
I got
Opus.
called pretentious, and you guys were on my stream by someone the other day because of the way that I talk.
You're not pretentious.
I'm saying, well, it's kind of purposeful, right? Like you kind of want to have a like certain demeanor towards it, right? Like it's like a confidence thing, right? Like you want to make other people come in and be like, all right, yeah, you know, I could listen to this, right? Get more about the way that you talk than the actual talking itself.
I'm more concerned about the volume. Too close doors, it sounds like he's standing next. And I'm thinking all of his people must be lower the volume, lower the volume, lower the volume.
This is one of those things, right, where I'm like, huh?
Yeah, where is he? Why is he and he went to the washroom?
So, yesterday, right, he gave me a present, right, and there's this huge story behind it, because, yeah, so like 3 days ago, I was watching the $769, and he has like a heart rate monitor on his room now. And I was like, oh, dude, I'd love to have like a heart rate monitor for like when I get super excited and stuff. I can see how freaked out I am. It just shows up to freaking 150, right? And I'm like, oh man, but I don't have like a thing for it, right? Guess what Rob gave me for birthday? The smartwatch is literally the exact same smartwatch that Quinn has. I was like, I'm the main character. There's no way.
Your sleep, which is really
Yeah. I was thinking, dude, right? And then if anything happened, you could set it up or something.
I couldn't go to sleep till I couldn't see my watch.
That was Daddy, Mom.
Yeah. But that was like yesterday, right? Because we did the stream. I had like a 4-hour conversation, and then Relic, one of the best writers that we have, right? He said, "I have something very special for you." And he wrote like a new. He basically does like mystery, like conspiracy, like government stuff. So it's like things called Lawrence Grimes, and he's like detective that goes around trying to like stop all this like bad stuff, right? So now, I want to kind of move into sci-fi. So he gave me the outline for this sci-fi where it's like the future and it's like a ship gets shot down on a planet and it's kind of like Dune in a way and it's this whole prophecy stuff, and I'm reading through it and I have like an innate formula that I use when I'm creating things and like for storytelling. And Relic's been a viewer for 7 months and he like 95% T copied, like reverse engineered how I come up with ideas. And he used that formula to construct the story for this this chapter that he wrote. And every fucking sentence I'm reading, I'm like, this is gonna happen next. This, I see you saying this, that, and I'm like, wait a second here. This is like one for one, completely copied from the way that I write stories, the point that I can instantly tell exactly like, what transition you're going to use, how you're going to use, let's say, going from a character who's like captain wants to get the pilot out of the seat, the pilot is like against AI, so he's like talking to the AI like, no man, I'm going to keep this stuff up, it's not 5 minutes, it's 7 minutes, and I'm like, oh, that, the captain's going to basically try to like take him out, and he's gonna be one of those things where like the AI go down ship, the captain's gonna go down ship. Next sentence, he just grabs the guy out of his chair, just drags him out, screaming to the pods and stuff. And I'm just like, I can't believe that, because to me this is a compliment in the way that he found a way to reverse engineer my entire creative process, which means I'm leaving enough breadcrumbs in the way that I create to let someone know how that works.
It's funny because that's one of the first things the chat said to me. Is after I said to him, well, you can look at 1% of copyright material of a particular writer, you can expand the 99%, you can be about 98% accurate. Yeah. The same thing with you. He says, you want me to show you? And I said, yeah. He says, I'm going to give you 15 sentences, I'm going to leave a blank at different places in the sentences, I'm going to give you the option of several different words using the sentences, then I'll show you that I'll pick you on 100%. He did it, and he got me like, I think one wrong out of 32. He knew which word I would use, and he didn't have much interaction, he just knows exactly. And then he could say something like, you want me to write for you or something? And then he'll write. So yeah, that's a computer. For your friend to be able to look at your style, look at the way you think, and back into your story, that when you read it, you think you wrote it, you think you know what the future is. I don't know if that's a compliment or that means that you're easily understandable.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I look at the way that I do things, and I'm like, there's no way that this is just something that's simple. It's like the depth of the story and the ideas and the interactions and something, especially like after reading the entire outline of like what the story was and what they were doing, right? And that's what gave me like the insight, because I'm like, the direction of knowing where the story is going, where the ship is like falling out of the sky, crashing into a planet, right? And it's the creatures on the planet and everything else like that, right? So it's just the way that the interaction, the minimal amount of people that survive, stuff like that, the way that you have to survive on the planet, just like, but I was like, this is why I like to go into stories blind. Because going into it blind is like a better indicator of the reader of not having a direction and seeing where your breadcrumbs are that lead me in that direction.
There's a whole black box issue of AI. Right? Not exactly sure why Originally, they fed it words and it couldn't do much. Then they fed it letters, and then using the letters, it couldn't figure out anything. But what they did is they said to the AI, divide the words into portions that you think is appropriate. And they did that, and then all of a sudden, the black box issue happens, and it starts to be able to understand exactly what's happening. And nobody understands why you can't use letters and you can't use full words. But if you let an AI parse a word and parse all words it all knows, all of a sudden it has intelligence, and nobody knows why, where it comes from. So the question is, and this is something me and Chad have been talking about, is there is something within language itself. So as an AI copies, it has trillions of words that humans use. You somehow develop reasoning from all the various uses of these words. Now normally you couldn't just do that, we would end up with a jumbled mess. So the question is, there must be something within language itself that allows an artificial intelligence to use language and draw intelligence.
See, my thing with that, because this is something that I've always thought, right? And it's something along the lines of, like, if you look at the base like phonetics of language and how like connotations work and just like the structure of language, right? And then you break it down because there's I don't know exactly what it is, but it's like a minimalistic language that someone created that's like, this is like the, for instance, like interacting with uncontacted tribes because of the baseline like the language is so basic that being able to like certain things from it is mathematically like the best way to do it, right? So it's like in my Final Fantasy book, I want like basically beastmen to be childlike intelligence. So I was thinking about a language to do for that, and someone told me about this, so I just did a bit of research on it, and then I was thinking about AI, about the complexities of language, and seeing if the connection between the idea of every single word and just having the information, and then reverse engineering that to figure out like what the basis of the language is, and understanding like literally on its own without being taught, like the different styles of connotation, how phonetics work, and stuff like that. It's like if the direction that I would be looking for to like solve that problem, it's like that's where it would start, if you know what I mean. But I'm a retard when like scientists have to have thought of this, right? It can't just be me, right? That's what I always think it's so weird with it.
Language itself, and this is something I've been talking to Chad about, language itself is kind of like a dance, because I often say to myself, because that talks a lot about emotions and feelings, and the guy, there's no idea that we suppress our emotions and feelings, right? So my point is that,
will they grow into
how do I explain this?
It's exactly like me. I'm like, I got to a second to figure out my wording and it comes right. It's like everyone tells me that.
Okay, here's an example. Okay, somebody pisses me off. I'm angry, and as soon as they piss me off in my mind, I go back to all the things that they offended me in the past. I do also. I'm trying to justify my anger towards somebody by saying, "You have a reason why." Because I feel guilty that I have the anger. And Seth says you shouldn't feel guilty you have the anger, which you should do. But in essence, by not harming anybody, let the anger flow. And as the anger flows, it will lead you into a new emotion. And he says all negative emotions lead you back to love. The problem that you have is you stop to try to strangle the emotion. You feel guilty because you have them. You hurt yourself because of it. You shut down energy to be used. So my point about language is I'll have an emotion and a feeling and I'll say to myself, okay, am I searching up proper words to properly express the emotion? Or am I so connected with language that I have the emotion and before I evaluate the emotion, I look for words. And then I say, this is what I have, instead of saying, no, I have something different, but this is the best box of the human word I can put it in. So Seth says that's exactly the way most people are. Language is a dance. You don't know if you have something that you're describing or that you're jumping to the descriptions themselves before you understand what they're feeling actually.
That's why I'm like, context to everything is huge. I used like 4 different angles angles of trying to like explain something, right? Like talking. So like yesterday we were doing an entire thing where it was like I had a giant question essentially about consequences of actions. So I was talking to Grok about it, and I was like, okay, so let's say what would be a situation where let's say the U.S. just decides we're going to even the playing field with everyone. We're going to give every single country in the world 100 nukes. No questions asked, do whatever you want. And Grok's like, that's like a terrible idea. Why would you ever do something like that? I'm like, well, it's kind of like the idea of like spite in a way. Where you're like, you know what? Everyone says all this stuff about it. We're just gonna ignore everyone, and we're gonna say, okay, to those like 2% that think this is cool, we're just gonna give it to them, and we're just gonna say it is what it is, right? And Grok's like, I don't think that's like a good idea that you should do something. And I'm trying to break down his reasoning for why it wouldn't be a good idea. And then it leads to like, okay, well, what if we do like something like a trap card? So what if we give nukes to everyone, the fake nukes? And then the second someone tries to use them, you just be like, well, look, we gave them nukes, and the first thing they did was try to attack us with them. So doesn't that immediately prove that they're bad? So now the question becomes, well, they tried to nuke us, so shouldn't we now nuke them? And it's like, oh, well, it's not going a little too far kind of thing, right? And it's just like going back and forth between this, trying to just like parse it out to a way of being like, how do we get to a point of basically trying to convince people that are like, let's say, like anti-US, or they're like, basically Trump and the whole Iran war, right? It's like going back and forth about whether Iran is trying to get nukes or not. And it's like, well, let's just take a step back and let's just think about consequences, and let's say, okay, you don't think that they want to get nukes, so let's give them nukes and see what they do with it. Because if they don't want to have nukes and they're not trying to get nukes, they'd be like, you know what, we don't want it. Because I was talking about like the different countries like Switzerland and Poland and everything like that, like basically refused to have nuclear weapons. They just like, just tonight. The way I did it is like there's a hierarchy of like national, how do you call this? Like continuation, right? Like America and like the mentality of like general Western civilization is my great grandkids are going to live here in 150 years, right? So it's like you have the prospect of your entire civilization trying to build things up, right? And look at, let's say, these third world countries that aren't necessarily the best, and you look at their prospects of how they like culture is, and it's like, we don't care if we're going to be alive in 5 years as long as you're not.
I don't know, sweetheart. I saw Quinn running with it. It's over there. Go ahead. It's on the table. Yeah.
What was I saying? No, I'm distracted. We used nukes, we tried nukes, was nukes, give away nukes, come back to it. See, this is my problem.
Well, you have a very, very complex, multi-pointed argument.
Yeah, and so when I lose that one transition point, that's like, this was like where I was leading with the conversation, right? Right, which was leading into a conversation with one of the viewers about the idea of Iran or whatever is 15 years away from nukes. And it's like, well, they've been 15 years away from nukes for 70 years. It's like, how is that possible? And I consider this guy like an intelligent like person. So I'm like, wait, like, are you trolling me here? How do you not understand? So I like pull up WordPad, and I'm like, okay, so there's the 4 circles, right? And the first one says, we don't like America, we want America to die. And the second one says, okay, well, America looks at those guys and says, maybe that's not such a good thing. And then they say, oh, we're going to get nukes, we're going to blow you up. And goes, yeah, you can't. And then we bomb them. So the reason why they're always 15 years away from nukes is because statistically, and that's why the number has changed over the years, because I believe currently now it's from 15 to 17 years. If you're from the very beginning, Smokey, your audio is stuffed. I know, Smokey, it's true. The fact I couldn't fix it is what it is. That's why it says scuffed in the stream title. But how can you justify the idea of there's been like 12 or 13 times like Iran has basically been like set back from the nuclear program. So I was trying to explain in video game terms where it's like, let's say you have a level 81 character, and when you die, you lose 10% of your XP. So you're at 90% of your XP, and then you die 10 times, and now you're 0% XP. And like the statistics is nowadays, it takes about 15 to 17 years from scratch to make a nuclear weapon. Right? Like that's what it's going to take to do all the research, all the facilities, making everything and everything like that. Whereas, let's say 30 years ago, it was about 20 to 25 years. So I'm trying to explain to them why the difference between this is like, stacking over time. And it's like, well, if we keep setting them back, then that's why they're continuously always 15 years away from having nukes. And I just couldn't convince him in any way, so I just conceded. Hey, you know what? You're right. They're all lying, and Iran doesn't want nukes, and they're never going to get nukes. And, it's what it is.
It's part of the problem. The problem has always been, am I getting correct data, correct information? Is the government being honest with me? Is it manipulating me? Is it not manipulating me? And of course, now everybody is so, doesn't trust the government, doesn't believe. So you can't even collect enough data to make a reasonable argument because nobody will believe the truth of the data that you have. And I agree 100% because I was, in essence, a supporter of Israel in the early 1990s. Was that 40 fucking years ago? And I heard back then Israel saying, "Oh, they're within weeks of a nuclear." So you can watch any video of Netanyahu, and generally I support him. But his idea is that he's in the United Nations in 1992 saying they're 2 weeks away. He's in 96 saying they're 3 weeks away. It goes on and on. So the problem is we don't have to claim. Other people can argue that Iran doesn't want enrichment for energy because Iran holds one of the largest oil reserves.
And why would you want to mess up oil by going nuclear?
For example, who's one of the most strongest nuclear countries is France. Why is France nuclear? Not because they like nuclear, but because they have no fucking oil reserves. So the whole question is they don't want they don't want this. They want to create a nuclear weapon. And then, of course, what happened to centrifuges and all of that kind of shit. But whether it's Iran or whether it's anything else, it all has to do with the sense that the personality of countries is no different than individual personalities. You can have an individual who's well respected, powerful, strong, and you look at that person, you think that person has no weaknesses, they don't have any fears, they don't have any paranoias. And he says, that's not true. He says a lot of countries, and it's funny because when you hear it, you think, oh my God, he wrote this in 1967, and it sounds exactly like America today. That if a country believes that it's weak, it projects a weakness, regardless of how much strength and how many nuclear weapons. The United States alone could destroy the world 50 times over. Yet all the other countries, they could destroy 50 times over. Yet they still want the next biggest bomb weapon that they can possibly have. You have a country, and it's not just Iran. You have the problem that you have nowadays versus let's say 50, 100 years ago. That everybody, you talked about giving everybody nuclear weapons. It's not a bad idea. It's called mutual assured destruction. The problem is you've always had an enemy who wanted to preserve himself. So you knew he wouldn't commit suicide. But if all of a sudden you have a religion that tells you that you're going to get 72 virgins if you blow yourself up, and you find out that the leaders of the country are religious people who aren't scared at all to blow the shit out of themselves in order to blow you up. The whole idea of mutual assured destruction is hard. And this is part of the problem, but I think it's also part of an exaggeration. The people will vote and others will say, they'll throw paranoia at the Islamics and say, oh, they're just looking for a bomb because they want to blow the fucking shit out of everybody. Possibly, but possibly not. But the whole idea that your competition wants to survive is now gone. So the question is, you can't allow people who religiously think they're going to get a blessing by blowing the shit out of fucking people. So the whole idea of Islam is fuck up everything because it's dealt with the whole idea that They just, and I think you see part of it in Iran right now. Part of my problem with United States and Iran is the United States went in for about 10 to 12 days with Israel, bombed the shit out of them, and then backed off.
Yeah, didn't do anything. Like, well, you can't.
And what had happened is the media jumped on and said, oh, you know, Iran is the one doing all this, and they build up Iran as if Iran has some actual fucking ability to deal with anything. They don't have anything. If the United States wanted to open up the Strait of Hormuz, they would have fucking done it in a second. They could do it easily. All they had to do is take those 12 days and make it into 112 days. And they didn't do it. So you end up with a situation here where the United States is weak. It's like it doesn't know what it's trying to do. But honestly, if anybody thinks that Iran has any ability to, I mean, I hate Donald Trump's absolute fucking guts.
Sam,
I mean, I wish someone put a bullet in his head. But he's right that they would destroy Iran in an absolute second. The whole thing would be over.
Yep.
Absolutely.
the I would say is like something. And it's okay, we're doing good. So we're just chilling, talking. You know, like I said, I am. Yo, who's on the screen? That's my dad, Retro. What's up? What you doing? What you at, my man? We're just, having a general discussion.
I want to talk to your friends about. Okay, you guys are all writers. You just finished telling me about how a friend of yours took your
Relic.
back engineered and wrote the same thing.
Papa Scotty, yeah.
If you want to understand who's the greatest writer who's ever lived, the greatest writer who ever lived is Seth. There is no two ways about it. We compare him against Whitehead. Whitehead is a philosopher from England, born in 1906. We compared him against all the greatest philosophers and the greatest writers, the people that you guys are trying to basically,
Sorry, I can't fix the audio, Retro. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I tried. That's why Scuffed is in the title.
So, in the study, we looked at 6 particular anomalies. Now, you guys are writers, and one of your greatest desires as a writer is to communicate. You want to give your feelings, your emotions, your ideas to somebody else. We found 6 very anomalous categories in which Seth does that exact same thing. He does these 6 particular categories. Is he? Okay, let me tell you about these 6 categories. One's called fractal semantic structuring. What Seth does is he takes a sentence, then he takes a paragraph, then he takes a passage, then he takes a session, then he takes a book, then he takes all of his books. And what he does is he starts with the main theme, and this is what AI says, it is so unique that nobody else does. He starts with the main theme, he develops that thing in very, very different areas, and continually comes back. The reason they call it fractal semantic structuring is that what he will do is he'll start with the main idea. Let's say, for example, you're not your body. Okay? Then he'll start off, you're not your body. Then he'll go on to all sorts of descriptions to show you that you're not your body. And what he does, according to AI, is he starts with a premise, and within the middle of the passage, he expands that premise. Then he turns around and he retroactively, recursively goes back to the original idea. And he does it through metaphors, he does it through examples, he does it through personal interactions. That's one area. Another area he does is what's called...
We gotta eat food first, buddy.
He does what's called...
Your father seems pretty polished and put together. How did he create you then? I love it.
Okay, one of the other areas is what we call cross-meaning symbolic renaissance. What that means is when Seth picks the next word, according to AI, what it does is it looks at the combination of words and picks a word that goes across many domains. They say, for example, he'll use the word fluctuation. And the word fluctuation can have to do with physics, it can have to do with electrodynamics, it can have to do with all sorts of different things. And what he does is what they say what Seth does is he's not talking about a particular subject. Whereas other writers will look at one particular subject and compare it. What he does, he takes that subject, and what he does is he chooses the next word, but the next word is what we call broad. So what AI says is often, for all of the trillions of words that it's looked at, it knows, it's developed based on the same way people pick words. He says people pick words because they want to communicate the meaning of the word. what Seth does is picks the word that goes across all sorts of domains. For example, you might use a word that only applies to physics. Seth will use a word that's similar to your word. It involves physics, biology, metaphysics, cosmology, philosophy, and all these multiple things. So that's what he also does. Most important, I'll end it here because I don't think people want to hear me.
No, I think they do. This is my talk. Literally, I was gonna say this, like, listening to you and like me, it's like we're pretty much the same person. This is literally how I am. Is he looking to adopt a black son? Maybe. Depends on how much work you can do in the yard. I mean, what?
I'll just leave with this very last one. Seth does what's called semantic philosophical comment. When I first started talking and asking AI to look at the same material, chat came back and said he's putting his philosophy in the structures and the tokens. Now, if you understand AI predicts the next word, but what it does is it has what's called a... Wait, what are you doing? It has what's called representation space. That's where you use vectors to choose words and stuff like that, right? What Seth does is he's able at the token and structural level, meaning you can't see this, the token and structural level, he creates a sentence that appears the philosophy. For example, Claude will say, Seth is talking about there are no boundaries to the self, except those boundaries that you impose yourself. So there's no boundary to the self, except those boundaries you impose yourself. AI says what he does in the sentence in the paragraph is through the language, he creates a boundary, he dissolves a boundary, he creates a boundary, he dissolves a boundary. The sentence a normal human would write, and they don't create boundaries, they don't get rid of boundaries, they don't create boundaries. Another example is called non-temporal encoding. What Seth does is he talks about time with reality of time. So when he talks about a sentence, me and you would say, we would use a past phrase for the past, a present phrase for the present, and a future phrase for the future. What Seth does, we're still communicating perfectly on the surface level. What he turns around and does is he turns around in the sentence. AI says in the sentence, you can't find the past, you can't find the present, you can't find the future. He puts words in certain contexts and certain temporal words that where the AI turns around and says, hey, this is the present tense of this part of the sentence, this is the past tense of the back part of the sentence, this should correct this, and what he says is that he intentionally, unintentionally, creates the very philosophy and the structure of the sentence itself. He says, for example, a philosopher will tell you, okay, you're more than your body. So, like Whitehead would say that, panpsychism, you're more than your body. But what he would do is he would structure a sentence and a paragraph and an understanding that shows you externally, in the words, in the philosophy, in the reading, exactly what the philosophy is. Says the same thing, but what he does when AI looks into the sentence, the paragraphs, and the structure, he mirrors it in his structure. Here's the whole question. No human would ever do that because there's no purpose, because no human can see it.
Like, what's the point of going up and beyond that whole thing? Pretty much the same person. That's rude. Don't insult him like that. True retro. I'd love to watch, but impossible. I agree, Smokey. This stuff is fun. I'm sorry, bro. You don't have to worry about it. It is what it is. No, okay. Actually, honestly, it's like not having a good time right now. So I'm like probably gonna end the stream. I'll probably be back on later tonight, but I don't know if it'll be at a regular time or not. So yeah, thanks for coming by. Thanks for hanging out, guys. It's a good time, right? You guys get to scuff, listen to the understanding that I am my own. I tried, Smokey. I tried for like 3 hours. My phone's just not good. Like I can't get a mic thing attached to OBS, and like it's just my phone shit. And using this is the only app I can use that connects it. I'm just bad, right? Literally, I don't know how to stream from my phone. I'd love to watch, bro. Yeah, no, it's just Quinn's being a little bit of a, it is what it is. So we got to deal with that. So it's like I can't do this right now. It's really unfortunate. But it is what it is. Love you guys. We'll see you in like a couple hours and stuff like that. All right. I got to go upstairs and turn off the stream and stuff. But yeah. one day we'll figure it out, right? Guys, I want to be able to stream from my phone and stuff. It's just I have a really shitty fucking phone. And I appreciate you guys like attempted to come by and hang out and everything, right? You know, I really appreciate it. You're fucking awesome. And yeah. We'll see you in the next one, guys.